Hey everybody, this is Inhaler 99, and I was just thinking of a little argument that me and my stepdad had, probably like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, maybe something like that. And well, basically, a little background story. He married my mom a couple of years ago, maybe I think it was 5 years ago, and anyway, she's a Jehovah's Witness, and now he's converting over to a Jehovah's Witness. Um, and so he's new and such, and okay, so here's how uh, the the um, the the argument went. Okay, so I called him um, because I hadn't talked to him in a long time, and I want to catch up and see how he was doing. And so I called him, and we were talking, and talking, and this was the same date. Yeah, October 17th it was, because it was the same date I believe that. Yeah, that's when the government shut down. They extended it or whatever, you know, and I brought it up because my dad, um, he's a war veteran and his VA benefits were not coming in, and I talked about to him because he always, like him and my mom will talk about the world and stuff, and pretty much how doomed it is, and it's really like when you keep focusing on one point, does it really seem to to be apparent in your life, and it seems to be um, surrounded by you. Because when I talked about the government shutdown, I really don't follow politics all that much, especially current ones. Maybe a little bits here and there. Um, Try not to watch TV too much. But the only reason why I looked into or even found out about this government shutdown was because of my dad. And so that's why I got kind of grew concerned, because it was somebody close to me who was being affected by it. And that's the reason why I looked into it. I thought, oh fuck, it's kind of like, oh, it could be like the end of times. I didn't realize that there had been a government shutdown before, back in '95, that what it lasted for like 23 days. So this is nothing new. Anyway, but it was kind of funny too, because that was the same day that it also got signed off. I saw John McCain on the TV. He goes, "Oh no, no, it's fine." Anyway, so I brought that up to him. How it's only really when you focus on one point, it seems like you're kind of looking for something, looking for that fear. And he talked about how the system is done for. America. It's just gonna crumble. Which sure, probably. And pretty soon humans will become extinct, so everything will fall and crumble. And then he mentioned how, like, he's like, I know a lot about politics. This isn't his actual voice, but just bear with me. He goes, hey, I know a lot about politics, and most people don't know that. But the thing with the government shutdown is, if China wanted to call up their bill, then they can take complete control over our arms, our nuclear weapons. And I said, no, they could not, because the person that America owns most money to is America. Social Security is number one. I think China is third. And so he kept bringing that up, and then somehow that kind of tailspinned into I brought about this conversation I had with my brother and his wife the last time they were here visiting. I hate to bring up religion with them, but it's like the elephant in the room. I don't know, somehow the tension builds, and then it kind of gets brought up. And what started that was the Tower of Babel, and how language became so diverse. And then I'm like, well, what about Sumerian language? The oldest written language, and so I was talking to him about that, and which I shouldn't, because one thing I should mention too about him is that he's very stubborn. The kind of guy where I said the reason I don't like Rush is because the lead singer's voice is annoying. So I said to him, his favorite band's Rush, And then he goes, yeah, well, Maynard from Tool sucks at singing, which is most like childish thing, you know. And like, first of all, and if you don't like Tool, Maynard is a phenomenal singer. But anyway, but you see my point, how stubborn, you know, he can be. So he went on to say, well, yeah, because the Bible totally makes sense, you know. And it's like he's just all like gung ho for it, and it didn't really seem like I could talk any sense. And he, see, my oldest brother, he is very tactful when it comes to talking about religion, especially. And he'll talk over people, you know, and be very overbearing about it. But I really don't want to do that approach. I don't like it. I know how it feels and it sucks, and I want to be more understanding. Give the other person, you know, a chance to talk, so we can communicate. But see, when I bring up stuff like this, you know, with deep, sincere, um, curiosity, they see it as me just being just like him, no other way, and that's very frustrating. Um, so he was like, "Oh, you're just like him, you know," and blah blah blah, and I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I'm not trying to be." And I mentioned how when I was having the debate with my brother and his wife, how because they said some things that pissed me off. Because one thing that they said that really pissed me off was how, you know, um, if their child was in a car crash, let's say, and was losing lots of blood and needed blood in order to live, they wouldn't give a blood transfusion because that's one thing they don't believe in, and that really made me. I had to stop talking to them. After that, I had to close the debate because I have a nephew who's 5, you know, and I love him dearly. And it's like I thought of him like dying, and like, and if they were there, you know, his parents, they like leave him to die. So anyway, it really got to me, and after like that, I said how Satan is the good guy because he actually gave us, you know, free thinking, you know, and the ability to, you know, expand our knowledge and not be robots. And he only killed was like 10 people as compared to God who killed millions. I brought that up, and then he was like, "Why would you say that?" And he like called me apostate and all this stuff, and it got really bad. And he talked about how his family, you know, he grew up as a Catholic, Roman Catholic, I believe, and so you know they did the holidays and all that stuff. And he was talking like also nonchalant, you know, about how, hey, you know, I'm in this new religion, you know, I have this new wife and such, and this new family, and it's like, you know, forget these people, you know. He goes, if I was there and when I was having that debate with you, the one that I had with my brother, this was my stepdad saying this to me. He goes, if I was there with you and I heard you say that about Satan, I would have like had no problem and just to completely cut you out, just like my family. I'm like, this is the fucking nerve of this dude. And I said to him, I said, don't you see the problem there? Is that there's no understanding. There's there's no reasoning. How are we able to be a family and be able to communicate? I really did say this, you know, like with all my heart, you know. It's like I was kind of panicking a little bit that he would say something like that. But he is new, and he's, you know, a kid with a new toy. And the thing with his family is that they don't know why all of a sudden he's done celebrating birthdays and holidays and stuff, and he's thinking in his head, man, why don't they just get it, you know? Like, come on, man. And I'm saying, you know, look at it the way that they feel about you, because they probably look at you and they think, oh, hey, he found a new woman, this religion, whatever, you know, the complete, you know, excommunicating like his entire family. It's like I can see why they'd be concerned about that. And I said, you know what? How they feel about you is how you guys feel about me. Now, don't you see this connection? And I really hoped that that would impact some, you know, empathy or sympathy or something, you know, in him. And he called them ignorant, and I said, no, you're the one who's being ignorant. And then he hung up the phone. And then, yeah, I got really bad after that. But anyway, just trying to communicate with them better, with my family. I love them dearly, and I hope things get better. Anyway, that was all. Just wanted to share. Bye.